Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. And welcome, I suppose, to another episode of Oh Gosh, Labour Lied Again. When asked before the election whether they had plans to introduce a wealth tax, Labour said no. Both Keir Starmer and Rachel Reeves looked into the camera and said, "We have no plans to introduce a wealth tax." And here we are, 51 days later, and they've got plans to introduce a wealth tax. But why? Well, the reason is simple. The Unite Union want it. They want Labour to have a wealth tax, and so Labour are considering a one-off wealth tax. This would raise about £25 billion. It would be money levied on all assets over £3 million. So only affecting the very super rich at first. And of course, Unite would like £25 billion raised to be used to pay public sector workers a lot more. Nothing's for nothing in this game. It does mean, of course, that effectively Unite are now the unelected government of the United Kingdom. Now, they are mooting it as a possible one-off tax. However, we must bear two things in mind. Number one, when Unite proposed it, they wanted it to be an annual tax. And secondly, whilst these things start, we'll just bring it in and it's only going to be this tiny bit here, and we're only going to do it at 1.7%, and we're only going to blah, 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 and all that. But we know that's not how taxes work. Taxes work by slowly, over time, expanding. So the threshold will reduce, and the rate will increase, and the scope will grow, until eventually more or less everybody will be paying wealth tax. Now, this is tax on what you have, not tax on what you earn. You'll still be paying tax on what you earn, of course. But having saved something, having got something, they'll want their cut. Nice house, shame if anything happened to it. And so they'll end up taking maybe 3% of your wealth. Why would you bother saving if you know the government's going to get all of it? Because here's the thing. They keep taking it and taking it and taking 3% a year. After 10 years, they've taken 30% of your wealth. Eventually, all of it. It doesn't bode well, does it, when you have a government outright from the very beginning saying, we don't care about your ability to pay. The very fact that you've got something means we want some of it, even though what you've got, you've paid for with money that we've already taxed. Firstly, what do we think will happen to people with assets? They've gone, and they're taking money with them. That will leave a black hole that Labour will have to fill with more taxes. Who's going to benefit? Well, the rich will benefit because they'll be gone living in better places with all that money. The poor won't benefit because now they have to pay for the black hole left by the rich leaving. And boy, are they leaving. This is already happening. But the wealth tax itself is iniquitous. Why should you take from what someone's got rather than what they earn? I get what they earn, but not what they've got. And we know that this money will not be used to the betterment of anyone. It's just money going in for vanity projects and huge pay rises. It's not going to be invested in the country. Nothing will be done. Now, if they said, if you want to invest with companies, particularly if you want to make investments, we can do it that way. We'll give you advantageous terms if you're going to reinvest and grow. But of course, the last thing the Labour government wants is for companies to invest and grow, because that might create jobs, and increase wealth. They don't want that. They don't want well-paid, happy people. Well-paid, happy people, of course, don't vote Labour. And so they're coming after people. So imagine you are retired. You've worked all your life. You've finally got there. You've retired. You're in your home. You're living off your state pension, a little bit of private pension, but that's okay because you don't have anything to pay. You can run your bills. You own your home. And then the government say, actually, your home is worth, let's say £500,000. We'd like you to pay us 3% of that. Well, that's £15,000. Yes, can we have £15,000? Well, I don't have £15,000. It's okay. What we'll do is we'll take 3% of your home. And then they come to the next year and say, yeah, we'll take another 3% of your home. And then we'll take another 3% of your home. And so eventually, by the time you die, when your family are expecting to get this, the government will own a third of it already. And then when you do sell your house, they'll take their 55% from their inheritance tax. You see, this is the plan. This is there. It's all a way of taking wealth from people. Most people have their wealth tied up in their houses. And this is what this government is attempting to do. They don't want anyone to have anything. And they're bringing in new ways of taking stuff from people. And they know that most people, like I say, have their wealth tied up in property. And if they can take the property away, tiny bit at a time, slowly, over many years, until eventually nobody owns anything. And then you'll all be happy. You'll own nothing, but you'll be happy. And you'll be sitting in your little 15-minute ghettos, eating your bugs, while the elite fly through the sky in their private jets, eating sirloin steak, quaffing champagne, and topping off with caviar and blinis. And everybody will be happy, because you'll have no worries, or freedom, or thoughts, or expressions. Beer and football. That's all it takes. And they're going to put this in because this is what the unions want. All those people who voted Labour, I reckon a lot of them now will be regretting it. I think if there was another election today, Labour wouldn't win. Thing is, a lot of Labour MPs now know this. The only way out of it is every single by-election, council election, everything. Do not vote Labour. Get them out. Break them. Show them they're being rejected. And if that doesn't work, I think eventually it may well have to come to protests of a very vigorous nature, shall we say. Very vigorous protests where we must turn our thoughts to Ceausescu, perhaps, the final ending of a dictatorship that is so damaging to the people of this country. Why would anyone work knowing the government's going to take it all? Why would you bother putting the effort in? Why do you think your children don't matter to you anymore? Why do you think so many people are leaving? Where's the money going? Out. It's up to you, good people. You know what to do. Thanks very much. Speak soon, take care, and I will leave you for now. Bye-bye.